Hi, all. So I recorded for this week's drama classroom a game about saying yes in improvisation. And so I wanted to couple that with looking at a monologue because I think that one of the things that we need to do when we first start working on a monologue is truly saying yes to it. We might be playing characters that are exactly like us, and we might be playing characters that are nothing like us. And that's the fun of acting, is getting to really step into someone else's shoes, empathize with their situation, and get a chance to portray what it is that they're going through in those moments. So I want to say yes to a monologue today and kind of go with you some of the things that I think about when I'm first looking at a monologue. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what the monologue is that I'm looking at. Okay, so this monologue is from the play, also, which is also a movie and also a real story, called The Diary of Anne Frank. So Anne Frank lived during World War II in the Holocaust, and she had a diary that she kept that became famous after she passed away. And this play and her story is a real kind of glimpse into what it was like to live at that time and how special of a person she was, and really being able to capture what her life was like in those moments and what she went through. So this is a monologue from the play that was written about her, which is truly beautiful. And if you have a chance to either watch the movie of it or read the play, I would highly recommend it. It's a beautiful story, and Anne is a really amazing, inspiring character. So I'm looking at this monologue, and I'm going to read it to you so we can read through it together, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I would do to start when I'm looking at a monologue and trying to understand it better. Okay, so the first part of this is I have written at the top monologue, and then I have her name, which is stating that it's the character speaking. And then right after that is a thing that says looking up to the skylight in parentheses. That means that she's actually looking up. It's not something that you would say out loud, it's what's called the stage direction. Okay. So that gives me, the actor, a clue as to what I'm supposed to be doing on stage. Sometimes the playwrights do that and other times they don't. And you can always follow the stage directions, or you can choose not to as well. Okay. Look, Peter, the sky. What a lovely day. Aren't the clouds beautiful? You know what I do when it seems as if I couldn't stand being cooped up for one more minute? I think myself out. I think myself on a walk in the park where I used to go with Pim, where the daffodils and the crocus and the violets grow down the slopes. You know the most wonderful part about thinking yourself out? You can have it any way you like. You can have roses and violets and chrysanthemums all blooming at the same time. It's funny. I used to take it all for granted. And now I've gone crazy about everything to do with nature. Haven't you? Okay. So, couple things I want to make to you to start this process. And this is something that I would love to continue the conversation with you about. And I would love to see what monologues you would like to work on. And I can help you go through the same process with those monologues as well. So, in the beginning here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to either, ideally, if I'm working on this for a play, I would want to memorize this monologue as quickly as possible. It just helps me as the actor to just feel more comfortable with the words. So I'd do that. I'd highlight it. I'd make sure it was big enough for me to read, all those things. And then when I'm looking at the text, I'm going to start by just kind of figuring out what it's saying, like what is going on in this, and what are the things that I absolutely know that it says, the facts. I want to know the facts of the monologue. Okay. So one fact would be that she's talking to someone named Peter. Okay, so that's something that we definitely know. She's talking about it being lovely outside. That's something we definitely know. That's a fact. It's not something that we would think maybe she feels or kind of what her emotion is. We're just talking about the things that we know for sure. So we know that it's a lovely day. We know that she used to go on walks with Pim, which is her father. That's who she's referring to. Um, we know that she used to take this for granted. She says that, okay? So that's the first thing I would do. I would think, like, what are the things that we know? And then the next thing I would do is I would think, okay, what might I think about that she might be feeling based on those facts? So maybe she's feeling kind of excited to imagine fun things to do with Peter. Maybe she feels happy. Maybe she feels a little sad that she can't walk outside right now. So those are just some ideas of maybe how she feels. And then the last step of that is to kind of have a general idea of what do we think she wants in this moment? What do you think she wants? And this is the idea of objective, which I talk a lot in my acting classes. It's kind of like your goal. And I like to use the phrase, what do you want the other person to do, feel, or understand? Okay. So I think she wants Peter to maybe daydream with her, you know? Maybe she wants Peter to make her laugh or have fun with her. Because it seems like Peter's obviously a big part of this. So that's the person she's talking to. So maybe she wants Peter to, I don't know, do something fun with her, play a game with her. Maybe she wants Peter to understand how free-spirited she is, or that she wants him to feel happy with her. So those are just some ideas of maybe what she wants. And that's the thing that you're going to think about is kind of what drives what she says throughout the whole monologue. The other thing to pay attention to is the punctuation. Where are the periods and the commas, right? So she says, look, Peter. So there's a comma after both those, the sky. And then she says, what a lovely day. Those are two separate thoughts. So you don't want to combine them into one. You don't want it to be, look, Peter, the sky, what a lovely day, right? That sounds a little weird, doesn't it? Look, Peter, the sky. What a lovely day. Those are two separate moments. So making sure that you actually look to, how is it written? And what is she trying to say? Those are just a couple of initial ideas that I'd love for you to think about. Please send me the monologues that you're interested in working on, and we can discuss them together and try to figure out what's going on in those pieces. Have a great day, guys.